What's going on, guys? Lazio Closey here, and this is a big one, guys. First episode 1 on the VTO. Finally, guys, I'm super excited for this. This is gonna go on the YouTube. Yes, YouTube's gonna be out. Yes, I know you guys have been waiting a super long time, so thank you for being patient. So yeah, let's get to it. Lots to talk about. Prem Serie A, the Habibi League, hence the title, Rise of the Habibi League. Great stuff to talk about this. I can't wait to cover more as the weeks and the months go by of the Saudi Pro League and how it's going to evolve. Is it going to be the next Chinese Super League though? Is it going to be one of those leagues that's going to do a super rise and then just drop? We'll see. We'll find out. So let's kick it off to the Prem. Alrighty, so Brentford. What a game. Brentford, Liverpool. I'm lost in words right now. Brentford are just a solid team. They're the giant killers. They are just don't get me wrong, they have their times where they fumble and they lose against other bigger teams as well. But hey, when they show up, they show up. And they're doing a great job, and I hope they can kind of kill off more of these bigger clubs. I'd love to see, I'd love to see them to qualify for Europe at some point. Europa League, Conference League. Let's start off there and then kind of work your way up. But 3-1. And Klopp, if you saw his kind of the videos there, the clips, he was smiling, he was happy for Brentford a little bit. Yeah, he was kind of pissed off. Obviously, we know Klopp, he's an angry German. Nah. You know what I mean? Like, you know how he gets, right? But great guy and good sport. He was a very good sport when he came to that. Fulham, Leicester. Fulham coming with that tight win against Leicester, which I gotta say, Leicester, that game against Liverpool, but he scoring the 2 own goals. That was just it was funny because there's like these memes and they're saying, Liverpool signed their second player, and it was that defender that scored the 2 goals there. The David Luiz doppelganger there. Arsenal, Newcastle. Now, this is another team that is very catching a lot of eyes, obviously to the thanks of the oil money. You know what I mean? Money talks. Newcastle. So right now they're back up to, I believe, second at this point, or they're still in the third. They're in between second and third right now, tied against Arsenal. A lot of people kind of gave the upset. A lot of people were kind of saying, you know what? I think Arsenal's luck's kind of running out. I think we're going to give it to Newcastle. They're young, they're fresh, they're fast. Same with Arsenal too, but I feel like Newcastle's starting to get that rhythm. And Almiron, he's just amazing, that guy. He's the J Balvin of the Premier League. He kind of looks like him, or he looks like his name is Manny, but he was off of Minds and then Good Girls, that Spanish actor that like everybody and their mother loves. Like my mother loves the guy. She even got like a poster in her room. I'm not kidding. It's literally in her room. Like I'll show it to you one day. Like phenomenal. He's a good looking guy though. Not gonna lie. So 0-0 there. Brighton. My man, or my Italian DZ. DZ is ripping it with Brighton. I love it. This guy was at Sassuolo, picking up wins and stuff like that. Then heading over to Ukraine, which I kind of wish I saw a little bit more of that. Obviously, with the whole Russia-Ukraine situation, it could have felt short. But he got Champions League football out of it. And but yeah, so let's see where he can take this Brighton team. And it's funny though, because we had those pundits that Imbishi the Salami over there. I forget his name. I don't see that. I don't care to remember the guy's name. The guy's a schmuck. He's a mortadella cheese sandwich. The guy's a loser. He was saying about DZ, saying, oh yeah, he basically what he said. He's like, oh, he won't make it, and he's gonna be really bad, and blah blah blah. Buddy, where is he now? I don't want to jinx it, but eat your words, buddy. Manya, eat them. Man United. Now, interesting. Man United and Bournemouth. This was a good game as well. Rashford, so good that he's back. I'm so glad he's back. He's smashing in the goals. He's an important player. He's a talisman for this club. Someone get this guy the armband stat. Now, maybe I'm talking a little too early, but excuse me. I think that he's great. Like he shows leadership on the field. He cares. He bleeds for the club. And yeah, of course, he had his ups and downs and stuff like that, but he managed to stay at the club. and it looks like he is gonna decline that PSG move to stay with Man United. And right for him. I mean, yeah, you want to go to PSG, but like we see all these players that go to PSG and they do great for a little bit and they just kind of drown out. So it's good to see that Rashford has an identity and he wants to stay and support his club that he supported since he was a kid. So yeah, Nottingham Forest against Southampton. Now Jimmy Brennan must have been flying through the rails the other day. He must have been so happy. Former TFC captain, Nottingham Forest, Southampton player, Jimmy Brennan. Really good to see that as well. And they won 1-0. The first win since the 90s. Yes, since the Spice Girls, since Pop Rocks, since Tamagotchi. All that fun stuff, right? So good for them. Leeds and West Ham. Now, what is going on with West Ham, guys? They've got somewhat of a good team. I mean, don't get me wrong, our Ital boy, scored. Samarco, Samacha, what Katsa Sigama, I don't care. He scored. But what is going on? I feel like this team's luck is running out. I feel like they're running on fumes right now. And I think Moyes knows that. I think that he needs to kind of develop another plan. What he's using right now is not working. And he's got to get the boys in the locker room and say, boys, listen, we got to pull up our socks. We got to tie up our cleats. We got to do what we got to do to kind of pick up these games, or else I'm out of here. And I feel like I don't think there's a mutiny in there. I don't think they're like a Chelsea, where Chelsea's win. They win a title, and then okay, let's go mutant against our coach. I don't think that. I think the boys love Moyes. I think it's just a string of bad luck, miscommunication, because we do have some foreigners on that team as well. So it's gonna take some time for these guys to develop, but at the same time, it's like, that fire's burning under Moyes' ass, so they got to kind of pick it up. So we'll see what happens there. Aston Villa Wolves 1-1. This was a scrappy game. Kind of a must-win for both teams. I mean, we saw that Villa coming out of the hop, beating Liverpool the last game there. Wolves kind of flirting with the bottom a little bit. They're kind of pulling the Drake and writing these crummy songs about girls and kind of flirting with the bottom, flirting with the championship. So we'll see what happens there. Tottenham really woke up for this one. Tottenham smashed CP Crystal Palace 4-0, and it was kind of funny. I think Conte's playing a little bit of mind games. He's playing a little reverse psychology with the fans, with the players, saying, "Oh well, you can't expect a lot from me. You can't expect all these trophies. It takes time." And he's right. I mean, how much patience can you have as a fan? I get that, but at the same time, one man can't give you miracles. Even if you had Pep at the helm, still, it would still take some time, right? When Pep was first season in Man City, he didn't win much. I mean, no, he didn't win the Prem because Conte won the Prem with Chelsea. So, so you got to give the guy some time. But it was, I think, and he knew what he was saying. At first, I was, okay, come on, man, complain. No, but I feel like I respect what he said. It's true, because that gave the fuel and that kind of energy and that Super Saiyan, Son, probably popped a blood vessel, pissed off after hearing that. He's like, okay, no, I gotta show coach that I'm determined. We can win these games. I don't want to let him down, and that's it. And I think that's what happened. So good on Tottenham. I hope these strings kind of victories kind of go along. Harry Kane, though, I gotta say, he's gotta go, and I'm sure there's a lot of Spurs fans out there that agree with me. He's gotta go. Enough. He's done what he needed to do. The guy obviously works hard. He scores goals. He can't carry the team, but at the same time, he needs to go. Obviously, with him being there, he's not that game changer. Okay. He's not. He's not the one winning. And again, will they find that game changer? Will they find that person? Probably not. But if it's Kane, it's not him. He hasn't won a title. They won the Audi Cup. Big deal. I don't count that as a thing. People say oh, they won the Audi Cup a couple summers ago. That's not a cup. That's a cup by Fala Piscia dentro. No, I don't. No way. So we'll see what happens. Now, currently, as we stand right now, it is Chelsea Man City halftime. My money is on my team, Man City. Hopefully, they can pull a win out of this. Chelsea's interesting. I think that Potter is trying his best. Is he gonna last? Probably not. I think this mutiny is going to come sooner rather than later. And again, when I say mutiny, I'm a firm believer that Chelsea is a mutiny club. I've said this millions of times. Chelsea's a mutiny club. They're a bougie, posh club. If the players don't get their way, they start freaking out. They start, and don't get me wrong, they're great players individually, but as a team, for whatever reason, I can never see them play functionally as a team. Now that Sterling is in the mix, Mr. Dinosaur T-Rex Jurassic Park are on, absolutely not. I don't see that team playing as a team. That, especially Sterling, that guy is not a team player. Oh my God! He was at City. I hated him. I'm not a big fan of him. I might get heat for this, but I don't care. I do not like Sterling. He's just overrated. So we'll see what happens. I mean, will Potter get the boot before the beginning of next season? Who knows? We'll see. City is back, baby. I'm so excited. Yeah, Prem footy was back, but City is back. Your boy's a Lazio boy, so very happy to get the footy back. Not as so much happy as the result as I come to that. Man, oh man, did I get a lot of texts, a lot of voice notes yesterday. So my fellow Laziale, I feel your pain. I really do. I feel your pain. Inter Napoli. Let's start off with the big guns. Inter Napoli. Wow. This was a game. Now, Napoli, I can't take anything away. They were hitting hard. They were hitting into with everything they got. Okay, maybe some passes were a little sloppy, but I can't because Napoli have been playing so well. I don't want to be one of those people that if they have one bad game or they have one loss, I'm against them. Oh, they're trash or they're this or that. No. And I feel like Serie A teams are not like that. Maybe Juve fans, because you know how Juve fans are. But no, I think the Napoli did their best. They did what they had to do. They had the right cards in the game, in the poker game, but I guess they just couldn't do it. So I mean, I think it was a fair game. Dzeko though, Bosnian bomber, Dzeko, my man. I was so jealous. Even back then, when Roma announced the Dzeko signing, I was so mad. I was like, guys, you let this guy slide. I don't care how old he was at that time. Well, we were gonna lose Klose at the end of the season, so I was like, okay, perfect. Let's get Dzeko. Let's, of course, Alper Palpatine, Mr. Claudio. Yeah, that's his name, Claudio. I'm not gonna care for his last name, but I call him Alper Palpatine from Star Wars. He said, oh, it's too much money, and he's old, and he just made every excuse in the book. But it was like, what about Klose? Like, nothing against Tanaka, my boy, but Klose was old, and he banged in the bangers. He banged in the goals. So what are you talking about? So I was very upset. And then as the years go by, I see the goals that he's doing for Roma, and like little by little, my heart is like heaving in from the inside. I'm like, oh my! Imagine that Dzeko and Immobile like match up like a partnership. That maybe didn't work or wouldn't work, but like just imagine, just to try it. Oh, that would have been just amazing, amazeballs. But yeah, good for Dzeko scoring that goal, and he's proving himself at Inter. I mean, a lot of the Inter fans saying like, at first they were liking him, and then he kind of fell off a little bit, and like they're ready to write him off. But now they love the guy. He's a talisman. I hope he stays for another 2 more seasons. I know that's kind of a lot to say for a 36, 37-year-old, but like, why not? I mean, there is kind of those rumors that are always going around Dzeko saying, is he going to go to LA, one of the LA teams, because his daughter or stepdaughter goes to school there, right? I think she goes to a music school or anything like that in LA. So those rumors were really, really hot before he went to Inter, but he felt in his heart that, yes, family is important. However, his story in Europe wasn't over. And there's also the St. Louis club that's opening up for the MLS that's coming up soon, right? So heavy Bosnian population in St. Louis, believe it or not. So could he make it there? Could he make it to another group of the MLS? Who knows? We'll see. So keep it going, Dzeko. I mean, even though you're playing on the opposite ends for us, I respect you. I love you, man. Just keep on scoring. Keep on doing what you're doing. Wow, you're a masterpiece, my friend. Udinese and Empoli, Empoli picking up a nice fat ready. Yeah, that was like a red. That was like, oh yeah, That's a red for sure. Udinese. What are we gonna talk about Udinese? Like I'm pretty upset about Udinese right now because I was hoping for these guys to at least kind of hold that kind of third. I know it was so impossible, and it was like we're waiting for them to go down. They're in eighth, not terrible. I mean, they're one spot above Atlanta, which, and anybody knows me, I don't hate Atlanta. I just hate their coach Gasperini, Mister. I cry my face off every game. Gasperini, he's a crybaby. So Torino, Fiorentina. I mean, like these teams are kind of scrapping each other, just like maybe for that Conference League spot. I know Fiorentina is, and I know Fiorentina is kind of they're exhausted. They have no depth in that team. They're with the injuries and everything like that. Like, I mean, that explains their 1-1 draw against Monza. And shifting a little bit to Monza, Palladino's doing a fantastic job with Monza, with Mozzarella. He's doing a fantastic job. Ever since this guy's taken the helm, he's kind of propelled this team up. I think they were like literally dead last or second last before he came in, and then they're what, at 14th, 13th, but they're doing 15th. Okay, they're doing well. I mean, you can't. I hope they stay for another season. So I think what's gonna happen is stay for another season, the season after Conference League, and then who knows. If they get enough guys, maybe they'll sneak in. They'll skip Europa League and maybe squeeze in a tight turd into Champions League. Maybe that is the plan. That's what I'm predicting here. I could be dead wrong, but I don't care. Now this is interesting. These next two games, okay? So Roma Bologna, bologna cheese sandwiches over here. Bologna, Mr. Saputo, okay, against Roma. Now, this is like I'd say third or fourth game, I could be wrong, that Roma get a penalty, okay? Listen to this. They get a penalty at like the first seconds of the game, like a blink, maybe 5th, 6th minute. Pellegrini, Mr. Eeyore, doesn't smile, doesn't do anything, no emotion to this guy. He's like Tristan Borges off of the Hamilton Forge, just no smile in this guy. Even if nothing. Scores, and then just park the bus. They use the old ancient times, the old Greek park the bus Mourinho tactics, which it works, okay? But how the hell does this happen, okay? Every time they get a pen, usually all the time, pen, boom, one not. Now I know it's like, okay, I know what they're going because they got a pen. It's really good, but really bad at the same time. Like, I hate that. So that's what happened there. And then Lecce, Lazio. Boys, we got to talk, okay? Why is it that every time we get back from the holiday, we lose? We lose. It's always the first game, we lose. Immobile, you got to stop with the TikToks with your wife. Enough. They're fun. You want to have TikToks with your wife. Hey, listen, been there, done that. Ha, ha, ha. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Ho, 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 ho. Enough. No. PlayStation, I'm gonna act like the Sicilian mothers that like yell and scream and like look at their kids like, look at his eyes. Unhook the PlayStation right now. I'm gonna throw it out the window. My aunt actually did that one time. It was hilarious. And she's Sicilian or Napoli, whatever, same difference. Anyways, enough with the PlayStation. Enough with the TikToks. Start training more, and just. Yes, you grant us that goal. I'm not trying to give you shit on that. Just be more focused. I feel like the wife is trying to rompabale a little bit. Just easy, okay? All the other guys too. Put down the tiramisu, put down the pasta fagioli, put down the carbonaro, put down everything and start winning these openers. Because Sadi, he won't take that shit, man. Sadi will literally have a full-blown heart attack, screaming, yelling with 4 or 5 cigarettes in his mouth, ripping a new one into the Lazio team. He was not happy. That shit can slide with Inzaghi, but it's not going to slide with Sadi. And I'm sure he's mentioned that. I'm sure he's mentioned that to the boys. So guys, you got to pick it up. And I even think, and I hate to say the next game, I hope I'm wrong. I think the next game they're going to falter to it. Every time there's a break, Lazio always take a long time to get up. Like look at 2020. We were in first before that pandemic break and whatever you want to call it. last, 3-4 games, I think it was Atlanta, Bologna, Juventus came back. Thank God we snuck on that fourth, but just that goes to show that these guys on the off peak, they just don't collaborate. They don't. I don't think they train as hard. That's how I'm seeing it. If you're coming back every season and you're losing the first 2 games or first game coming back, that just goes to show us, especially the fans, that you guys aren't putting that work in. That just goes to show. And I could be wrong. I could be looking this or reading this wrong, but I mean, I could be right here. So. All right, Juventus and Camerones. Every time I look at this, Crest, I feel like they're playing Croatia. I don't know what it is, but 1-0. Obviously, these guys come back. Now, yesterday, my phone notes got bombarded by a certain someone that I met recently. She's fantastic. She's a hardcore Juve fan, and loves the chirp though. Oh my gosh, she's like number one. She's a If you're ever looking for someone in a chirp battle, call this girl up. She will like rip that person into one. She's on the ball with some things, no pun intended. But no, she's rightfully so. She gave it to me. She gave me the chirps right away, right with the voice notes, and it's rightfully so, because I chirped her. I like before the game, I'm like, yo, you're gonna lose. Coming in with the upset, which I knew deep down coming in we're gonna eat just dog shit. You know what I mean? Sorry, just spat. But yeah, no, it was gonna be one of those things. I'm like, yeah, Juventus is gonna win. And Milik, Mr. Milk Mick Milik scores a dirty free kick. It was a good goal. It was a good goal. Rightfully so. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the standings are pretty much the same-ish. We got Juventus jumping to third, Inter fourth, Lazio fifth, Roma sixth, and then we got Napoli and Milan for the first 2 spots, which is funny because there are people out there. I maybe talked to like 10 different people, and they still think that Milan have a chance. They still think Milan have a chance. It's insane. Like, they've been betting like Milan to win and everything like that, and like, who knows? Like, could they cause that upset for Napoli? I imagine like another season, holding that first spot and just losing it. Oof. Just craziness. So yeah, Bundesliga and La Liga will be coming up soon. But guys, there's one thing I gotta talk about. It is the Habibi League, the Saudi League, the Saudi Pro League. Ronaldo is officially playing for Al-Nassar. I think I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm saying it wrong, please call me, give me shit, and give me the right pronunciation. Guys, it happened. Now, my intake on this. Now, again, World Cup was great, guys. Fantastic. I'll talk about it at some point. I'm not really talking about it yet, just because I'll talk about some other BS that whatever. Ronaldo Saudi. Now, here's the thing. I don't like the move. I don't. I think that, again, there's other things that there could happen behind the scenes that I don't know about, but so far as it looks from the outside, I think it was a very hypocritical move on his end. Now, we have all seen on Instagram his interview back in 2015 saying that, playing in Qatar and the US is not my dignity and stuff like that. And then you look at the argument where people are saying, well, he didn't say Saudi Arabia. Bruh, it's the same shit. It is the same shit. Okay? Qatar, MLS, Saudi, same playing level. It's the same shit. It is a retirement league. I mean, MLS, we're starting to see not so much maybe, but come on, guys. Qatar too, like, come on, guys. Wake up. Smell the fresh espresso, okay? It was a hypocritical move on my part. You can defend it the way you like it. I'm a Ronaldo fan. I'll take Ronaldo over Messi still any day of the week. Yeah, okay, the GOAT thing, whatever you want to call it, whatever. But to me, it's a slap in the face a little bit. Like, yeah, you want to get your bag and get out, but like, dude, how much money do you need, man? How much money do you need? Seriously, man, how much money do you need? And then he says, oh, well, I went to every other Champions League club and they didn't want me. Bro, what about Sporting? They wanted you, man. You said no. Your mom wanted you to go and you said no. So don't make these excuses that these clubs wanted you and didn't take you. No, come on, man. And plus, it's your attitude, too. Like, I got to give it to you straight, man. I love you. I think you're a great player. I'm a big fan, but I got to give it to you straight, man. What you did, I kind of lost a little respect for him a little bit. I think it was just like obviously it was a money-hungry move. I don't know, dude, like how much are your bills at home? Like how much is your hydro bill? Like you have to go to Saudi. Like honestly. Like to me it was just like again, it was a bullshit move. I didn't like it. I don't like the league. Yeah, I mean you had players back then that played for it. You know, you had players right now that played, you know, Babacar, Luis Gustavo, who else? Javenko used to play for the Saudi League as well. But guys, at the end of the day, it's all money, man. It's all money. So I hate that. As much as we see that now in the current state of football, of footy, we are seeing more players jumping ship for the money. It is the hard, cold facts. It is gonna happen, and that's why I lose the love of the sport sometimes when that happens. It kind of gives me, it's a boner eraser for sure for the sport. It is. It kind of takes that excitement out. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, shifting to the whole product of the Saudi League, is this going to be the next Chinese Super League? We're kind of seeing this now, especially with Al-Nassar, where you know they are in talks with Icardi. Imaudi, I'm gonna take your wife, Icardi. There you go, guys. Sergio Ramos, Sergio Busquets, whatever. And you know, Conte's not gonna go. I don't think. I know he was linked to go. Same with Modric. I know I made a post about that before. I believe the second bid for Modric was still declined. He still wants to stay in Real Madrid. He still wants to retire there. And it's funny, Tony Cruz. Something said about Tony Cruz saying like, don't even think. He even said like, I think it was in an interview or something like that. I heard this from a buddy of mine. He said that don't even think. That thought of coming to me with an offer, get out of my face. I get out of my face. Don't waste your time. I'll slam the door in your face, he said. No way. He wants to stay at Real Madrid too. So it's going to be interesting to see who they're going to pick up. I think Ramos is going to go. I think he's going to go. Another payday. I mean, what's he doing for PSG? Other than picking up red cards and sucking snails. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Sergio Busquets, I mean, it looks like he needs like several cheeseburgers to gain some weight. I think he'll go too. But I don't know. That Miami kind of deal looks pretty realistic. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, because part of that Ronaldo deal was that he was going to back Saudi Arabia for their next World Cup bid. So he was going to be the representative. He was going to, you know, take care of any people work that he needs to do with that. So that was part of the deal. And again, like you said, it was a unique deal. And you said it was so fun playing in South Africa. Like, come on, guy. Like, fuck. So it'd be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what's going to happen there. Oh, and another thing too, the Enzo Fernandez saga. Now, Benfica's pissed. Benfica is pissed. Roger Schmidt, Mr. Uterdeigendigefagen, he's mad. He's pissed. Chelsea were just using unfair transfer tactics.
Not work against that, so then maybe we will lose the player. So the third point to this topic, there's a club who want our player. They know we don't want to sell the player. They try to get the player on their side, and they know that they only can get this player when they pay the clause. So it's a very clear situation. What the club is doing, who want to buy Enzo, is disrespectful against all of us, against Benfica, and I cannot accept what they are doing. So to make the player crazy, and then to pretend they can pay the clause, and later they want to negotiate, I think is not what I understand about a good relationship between clubs who maybe want to discuss about the players. So that's what I can say about the whole topic with Enzo, and I will not answer further
using those kind of transfer tactics aren't good. You don't do that. Kind of the stalling back and forth, paying that transfer the clause and then not doing anything. I don't know. It was just kind of a lot of back and forth, a lot of stalling. So it's very sketchy. It's very sketchy what's going on. Obviously, Mr. We are slow. I mean, we are. Here we go. Sorry. Is on top of it. Mr. Fabrizio Romano. Love the guy. He's a legend. So we'll see what he needs to say. I think at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, the disrespect, especially from Chelsea, what you got to do to kind of piss off a team like that. Benfica, who's been responsible for making all these talents. I mean, João Felix, Falcao. I mean, the list goes on and on. Enzo Fernandez being one of them. And now they're kind of jumping 3 steps ahead. They're going after another player. I believe he plays in the Norwegian league. A very young guy. I can post a name on the story there. I'll make a post of it because it's very interesting. Young kid, a lot of talent, scored a lot of goals, a lot of assists. So I think he's going to be the next Benfica star. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. This is it. This is the episode 1 video. It'll be on YouTube. So guys, like, comment, subscribe, and even comment too. Shoot me a DM, comment. Is the Habibi League going to be the next Chinese Super League? Are we going to see these star players jump ship for the money, for the oil money? Are we going to see that round too? Or is it just kind of like a little bit of a short thing? Just like in the Turkish League back in 2010, 2011, they got Quaresma, and they had a couple players here and there, but it didn't last long. It wasn't kind of like a super league or a Chinese Super League or anything like that. Excuse me. So guys, let me know. All right, and like I always say, guys, manja, bebe, fregatene. I'm out.